like, how can this be your plan? How can this even be a plan? How can this be good? How can this work out, for my benefit at all? And then just in a suddenly moment, Joseph was called on because he had a gift. He had a gift to interpret dreams. And so he was called on to interpret a dream that was troubling the Pharaoh. And he did. He interpreted the dream. And in a moment, he became second in command to Pharaoh. And I just wonder, I don't know if we'll ever really completely know, all of what happened, what was the plan, why he went through all that stuff, why God allowed it. But I do know from my own personal experience that there is an anointing that comes only through suffering, a specific anointing. When you go through suffering and you come out on the other side, or even if you're right in the middle of the suffering, but you are completely reliant on God, there is an anointing that comes, and it's a powerful, powerful anointing. So anyway, he became second in command to Pharaoh and basically saved the land from the famine that he predicted was going to come. He had wisdom on how to prepare for it, and it just really it really spoke to me personally. And at that point, I started having more wisdom and understanding about and just not being offended by the things that God was allowing to happen to me. I was so hurt. I was so disappointed. I got to the point where I just didn't even want to pray at all, because I felt like, what is the point? And so, let's see. Now I'm 37 years old, be 38 in the spring, and I went through many more hardships, but I don't view them the same way, because every hardship that I've gone through, things that I didn't even think that I would be able to survive it. The pain was so bad. Those are the times that I felt like I got a clearer view of different aspects of God in my life. And I wouldn't trade those hard things that I went through for anything in the whole world. And once you know an aspect of God, once you've experienced it, you can talk about it, you can hear other people's things that they've been through, but when you've been through something yourself, you know it. And there's nothing that's ever going to take that away from you. I don't even know where I was going with all this. Part of the reason why I didn't want to start, why I had anxiety about starting. So yeah, just back to starting to follow your dreams, being willing to hold on to something even though it looks like it's never going to happen. Keeping your faith when the circumstances around you tell you this is impossible. You're never going to do that. for this reason and that reason, and the reasons just keep piling up. Listening to other people tell you can't do that. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something. What God says to you and to you alone, that's what matters. He hasn't revealed to somebody else what he's told you to do. And sometimes he doesn't completely tell you exactly what to do. I'm so many things running through my mind, I don't even know how to sort them all out. Anyway, I went through all the years of not being able to songwrite, feeling completely depressed and just useless. Just not feeling like myself. When you have things inside of you and you can't use them, you can't get them out, it is like one of the most horrible feelings of turmoil that I have experienced. And I have a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, who is a musician, a songwriter. And I was just sharing with her some of my struggles that I was having with the songwriting and just that stuff in general. And she just helped me so much. And she just said a few things to me that like changed my life. And basically just, man, you're just way overthinking it. You know, just focus on one word, even just one word, and write it down. Or a couple words. And just clear out all that mess and things that you're trying to, you know, make this whole thing out of this big jumbled ball of emotions and thoughts, and just like center yourself and just try to pick out the one main word or feeling, and I just right away was able to write that down. I think what I said was like, I'm just going to be still. And I wrote it down. And within, I don't know, an hour, I had written a whole song. And it just flowed right out of me. Like I didn't even really have to work very hard at it. It just kind of came together for me. And that was kind of the beginning of, like in the last 5 years, I think I've written, or I have like, I don't even know at this point. I'm going to say 35 to 40 songs maybe, because, and like they just keep coming. I can write a song sometimes in a half hour to an hour, and then I'll write another one the next day or two at once. And so that season for me, and it was a season, and maybe God just wanted to strip me of my feelings of my abilities, like relying on myself and what I felt like I could make happen. And he totally just took all that away from me so that I couldn't rely on myself. And it was probably the greatest thing that ever happened, even though it was super painful. I am so grateful that I had that time to learn how to just wait and to be at peace with waiting and to not feel like I have to make something happen. You know, because God, you know, if he does, he's not out to hurt us, you know. Just recently going through, I have decided to renovate my upstairs extra room here. We've lived here for like 13 years, and this room has just been a catch-all. It never really served any purpose. It was a beautiful space. But as big as our house is, I just could never seem to have the time to do anything with it. I never had a vision for it really, and I just recently had got, it was about a year ago, I got the vision, and I wanted to turn it into like a music room or a worship room or like an art slash, whatever I feel like doing in here, things that make me feel like myself, things that that benefit me spiritually, and in a place to be able to share that with other people. And